Hello, I'm Nina Hartley, and welcome to Tuesdays with Nina. You can send your questions to me, tuesdayswithnina@gmail.com, and I will get them. Today's question concerns something really common. A young woman has recently entered into a very passionate and happy relationship with her boyfriend. They have a good time, but they only see each other on weekends. So one time out of four, she's on her period. And she told me that she's unable to take hormone-based birth control for health reasons. So the 4 times a year shot that kills your period, except 4 times a year, that's out, as is the continual pill cycle. So, and she does report that the blood does not make them squeamish, and they use condoms just fine. So that's not a problem. But she would like to feel more relaxed and less inhibited during the particular bloody time of the month. What can I suggest? A couple of things. There are things called diva cups or cervical cups that are there to catch menstrual fluid, but I have not yet heard from a woman who said it's comfortable during intercourse. My recommendation would be to get fitted for a diaphragm. And since you are using condoms for birth control, you wouldn't have to worry about the expensive and really hard to get diaphragm spermicidal jelly. It's very hard to find spermicidal jelly anymore. It used to be, of course, very common. Diaphragms for birth control are not effective without spermicidal jelly, but they do very well, when they're properly fitted and properly inserted, catch blood because they can hold several teaspoons of blood. It can make for a little bit of a splash when you take it out in the bathroom, but you know what? If you're not squeamish, that's a good thing. I also recommend, if you're not bleeding too heavily, is to go to a natural food store or health food store and pick up some natural sea sponges. And sometimes you can get them even, they've been pre-made into tampon-sized balls of sponge, and they're about the size of a small egg, and when they're brand new, they're sponge-colored, tan-colored, and you wash them with hot soap and water. They get soft and very moist and very, very comfortable, and you slide them up in there and use it as a tampon. Some people go all the route and they tie dental floss around them so you can pull them out, but since I'm not squeamish myself, and that's what I use for my period, I'll just, again, if I need to, I'll put on a glove, and a latex glove, and go fish it out later. When I wear a sponge during intercourse on my period, because with a condom, your partner will not feel it at all because it feels like flesh. It's soft, it's squishy, it's very, very comfortable. But he might have to put on a glove and go fish it out of one of your posterior fornix because it can get pushed out of the way. But I find that natural sea sponges are very comfortable to wear during your period. You can also go ahead and get the latex sheets. Those really are pretty messy. So, cervical cup, or a diva cup as they're called. They might not be that comfortable for deep intercourse, but maybe for you they would be. Getting fitted at Planned Parenthood or some clinic for a diaphragm, a nice latex diaphragm, which holds things back nicely, and a natural sea sponge, which you can get at natural food stores, and are very, very comfortable. So I recommend all three of those things. Or there's just doing non-intercourse things during your period, but you say that you're not skeeved out by making love during your period, which is really nice. But the sponge, certainly, the sea sponge inside for cunnilingus, because as much as I love women and as much as I'm okay with bleeding and stuff, I'm not into actually tasting blood. Doesn't do a whole lot for me. So you can put the sea sponge for cunnilingus, wash your outer parts, and he'll never know that you're on your period. You won't be able to taste it. And then you could actually segue into intercourse from that. Again, if he's wearing a condom, he's not going to feel the sponge, and he'll push it up out of the way. And you might get some blood in the middle of sex that way, but it still helps a lot. They're very absorbent, our sponges. So there you have it. Sea sponges, diaphragms, and cervical cups, also known as diva cups. I believe the cervical cup has to be fitted as well by your gynecologist or the folks at the local Planned Parenthood. Diaphragms are going to hold more than a diva cup simply because a diaphragm is bigger, several centimeters in diameter, and it fits between your posterior fornix and your pubic bone. So there's more. It can hold several teaspoons of fluid, and a diva cup I don't think can hold that much because it fits right onto your cervix as opposed to over your cervix. So the diva cup, if this is your cervix, a diva cup fits right onto it, and a diaphragm fits over it. Here's my pubic bone here, and my posterior fornix here, the diaphragm is flatter and wider and has more space to hold fluid. So there you have it. Party on. Continue having a really fun time, and thank you so much for inviting me. This has been Tuesdays with Nina. I'm Nina Hartley, and you can write to me tuesdayswithnina@gmail.com, and I'll get to your questions as soon as I can.